Hi everyone, this is Gula Taha, and this is my presentation for the final project, which is a review of literature entitled BabelNet, a tool to overcome linguistic barriers. So BabelNet could be defined as a multilingual encyclopedic network, which basically combines two main resources. The first one is WordNet, and the second one, the encyclopedic project Wikipedia. And BabelNet has become more common recently because it covers around 500 languages and it covers around 20 million entries. So the idea of BabelNet is based on combining two different resources. The first one is WordNet, which is a lexicographic dictionary, includes all the concepts and some sunsets, and the parts of speech of words and the definition and some glosses, besides some examples for each lexical items, and also including a number of lexical and semantic relationships. So we have also the second resource, which is the Wikipedia, which is the collaborative project. It includes different pages related to different lexical items. So, and also it provides many hyperlinks related to the information that have been linked to this lexical item. So the first element here is WordNet, which includes a lot of information about lexical items. And also it provides a lot of lexical and semantic relationships, such as being a part of or providing a definition or antonym or being subordinate or hyperordinate. And then it provides many glosses of different linguistic items representing as an S, which means sense. So here, let's say, for example, we have sense one, which includes a lot of senses, so S1 and S2, S3, and so on and so forth. So here is an example of how WordNet works. So here I use this word, which is play, and here, once I hit search WordNet, it comes out with so many senses of the word used as a noun. So the S sense one, the S2, the sense three, the sense four, and so on. And here we have different senses of the word being used as a verb, and also we have other information. All of them includes many examples and glosses related to each individual sense of this lexical item. So the basic idea of WordNet lies in this part, which is indicating the lexical items and the semantic relationship between the different lexical items. So one of the semantic relation is hypernym, which is the superordinate, and wherein we move from a concept to a superordinate. So for example, we have breakfast, and we're moving on to male, but breakfast is a little bit specific when male is more generic. And also we have hyponym, which is subordinate, which is a little bit occupies a lower position in the scale. And here we move from concept to subtypes. So for example, if we have meal as the generic term, the umbrella term, and we are moving to lunch, in this case, we're having a hyponym. And providing an example, which is in instance hypernym, in instance from instances to their concepts. So for example, we have Austen, Jane Austen, for example, who was an author, and then we have an instance hyponym. In this case, it has an instance where we move from concept to their instances. So composer, for example, we move to Bach. And then we have part of, or being a part of, we move from whole to parts. So a table, for example, is generic and it includes, or it contains 4 different legs. And also we have 3 legs in some types of tables. And then we have part holonym, which is a part of, and we move from part to whole. And for example, if we have a course, it's a part of a meal. And then we have antonym, which is another semantic relationship, which provide the opposite meaning between lemmas, between the different lexical items. So for example, we have leader who is leading, let's say anything, a revolution or something, and then we have follower, the one who is following the order. So they are on extreme parts of this scale of meaning. So they are having some kind of opposite relationship. And finally, we have derivation, and in derivation, we have the lemma, which is a little bit the same like stem, the main part, the root of the word, and we add some morphological affixes, like, for example, adding the suffix to the word destroy to get the word destruction. The second source, or the second free source that is integrated into BabelNet, is Wikipedia. And Wikipedia is a collaborative free project that anyone can edit. So Wikipedia is a project that is daily updated, which means it contains many information related to different topics, and it provides also some translation, human-made translation by people who are collaborating in this project. So let's say, for example, we have the word play and we need to get some information about this word from in Wikipedia. In this case, we have a lot of information related to this, and also we have some hyperlinks related to this, maybe in another languages. So since these two sources come into play to get which explain the way BabelNet works. So here, every targeted linguistic item is represented in the form of a graph, and each graph contains various concepts related to the various forms of the semantic relationship between them. So for example, we have glosses, we have hyponyms, we have hypernyms. So here, let's say, for example, the word to play again, and here what we get from WordNet is that here we have all the words related to this, since 1, since 2, since 3, and since 4. So we have the word act, we have playlet, we have drama, we have direction, we have stage direction, we have performance, we have script, and we have semantic composition, dramatic composition. We have opera, we have comedy, we have tragedy, we have ballet, we have scene. And from Wikipedia, again, we are using the same lexical item. Here, what do we have? Play related to theater. We have playwright, we have Shakespeare, we have tragedy, we have ancient Greece, and then we have satire, literature, and all of these related items. So these two main resources provide the content of the BabelNet. So here, for example, we are getting all of this related to this word from WordNet, and also from the different hyperlinks related to the word in Wikipedia. We are getting Babel sunset, which means we are having the same different meaning of the word, the meaning of the word in different languages. So here, what does it mean in English and in Dutch, and also in Spanish, we have here Italian, French, and so on and so forth. And also from this, we are getting from Wikipedia also, we get some information related to this. Here we have different words that are related to this lexical items. So we have also some hyperlinks. So here, the machine translation is also integrated using Google Translation beside the human-generated translation provided in Wikipedia, which is known as the interlanguage links. And also machine translation is used to help out with any information related to this, especially the syntax corpora, namely SimCorp. So this is the interface of this website. So for example, here, if I need to find some information about this item, which is play, so I just write down the word to play in the website, and here are some results. Let's say, for example, I'm interested in knowing more about the first result. So if I edit, here we have the definition, and the definition of the word: a dramatic work intended for performance by actors on a stage. And also here, A very interesting feature in BabelNet is that you can incorporate definition and translation from different languages. So here I need to know more about this word in Arabic and in Chinese. So here, if I hit this word translation, what I get is the definition of the word in English plus its pronunciation and the lemma part. And also we have here the definition of the word in Arabic and also the definition of the word in Chinese. So here also we can get some information related to this from let's say, for example, I need to know the semantic relationships that this word holds with different lexical item. So here it is, which is a definition, the gloss part, has part, and part of, and has kind, has instance, model item, and use. And also here, if we hit this part, this one, we are getting to find some mind map, or let's say graphic network of all the related items of the targeted lexical item. And also sources, if we hit this word, the source, we are getting all the sources of the information that came up when we got our results. So why do we need BabelNet? BabelNet is or has become very common among people recently for the different application that it provides. So one of these applications, it helps with the sense disambiguation. So for example, here, if we have a text and in this text we have multilingual items, so code switching, code meshing, or code mixing, we can, again, with the help of BabelNet, we can fix this, or we can at least to get some information from these kind of text by activating the language agnostic setting, which cover almost all the languages. And in this case, it helps us with the conflation of the different meaning conflation of a certain lexical items. Also, it helps with the contextualized embedded meanings. So let's say, for example, one of the application is WIC, which is the word in context. So let's say, for example, we have the word bed of the river and the bed at home or at the bedroom, and in this case, totally different words. Or let's say we have the word head, which is part of the body, the highest part of the body, and then we have the word head of the state or head of the department. So in this case, we have, again, polysemous lexical item, and BabelNet will help us with this by providing some graphic model of the text categorization and the representation. Another application of the of BabelNet is the machine translation, wherein we can use it with doing some translation with different languages, because recently it covers around 500 languages, basically with using the neural machine translation. Some of the, let's say, the downside of the earlier version of BabelNet was that it ignores concepts and contextualization, which led to the appearance of some other resources such as ConceptNet and Cover and LessLex. But later on, all of these downsides have been attended to in the latest version of the BabelNet. So if we follow the timeline of BabelNet here, it was the first version of BabelNet was released in 2013, which covered 6 languages, and the content mainly came from WordNet 3.0 version and Wikipedia, and then PDpedia. And later on in 2014, it covered 50 languages, and the component were plus these one. We have Omega Wiki, and then we have Open Multi-WebNet. And in 2014, in November, 50 languages again, but we have the addition of Wiktionary and then Wikidata. And it also, before the close of 2014, we have the addition of freebase and pronunciation and usage examples. And also L 3.5 was released in 2015, which included 272 words, 272 languages, and with the addition of Babel domains, WordNav, and geonames. And geoname is really fascinating because it provides a lot of information about the geographical sites and cities and places. And also we have in 2016 the addition of Yago, Italian WordNet, and Open Dutch WordNet. 2016 in August, again, with addition of key concepts, improved Babel domains and coverage. Babel domain coverage, and also in 2018, the number of languages increased to include 284 languages with the addition of manual validation of the resource mapping. And the latest version, which is version 5.0, which was released in February 2021, it covered 500 languages with the inclusion of Verb Atlas and Paperback and manual validation of the resource mapping, and also with the addition of the latest version of the WordNet, the English WordNet 2020. So all of these component has helped a lot in overcome the linguistic barrier and in overcoming the downsides of the earlier version, this one. And here the entries of the BabelNet has increased recently, crossed over time, and now it has around 30 million named entities and definition 135 million approximately, and the number of senses. And here, which means that BabelNet is growing very fast, and it represents one of the main implication of the natural language processing. So that's all I have for my presentation, and here are the sources I've used, and thank you so much.